Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 48 of the Drop It podcast. This podcast is tailor-made for those of you with weight to lose, those of you that are losing weight now, and those of you that are bathing in the success of your weight loss accomplishment. If it's your first time on the show, welcome. I'm your host, Nick Geoppo, and 5.5 or 6 years ago, I've been saying 5 years since the beginning of this podcast. It's been about 6 now. 6 years ago, I lost 110 pounds and have actually kept the weight off after a lifetime of losing and gaining back a substantial amount of weight every single year from 2013 to 2019. So if you're somebody that's lost weight before and then gained the weight back for any reason, recognize that what you were doing wasn't unsustainable, or you lost motivation, or you quit on yourself. I really make this podcast for you, and you're going to resonate with a lot of my story, because that was my entire life. And weight loss and thinking about weight loss and food and all this other shit consumed my entire mind space. And the best part of losing weight isn't just that I felt like other people were treating me better. It isn't that I felt happier. It isn't even that I felt more proud or more capable. Though all those things were true, the best part of losing weight and actually keeping the weight off is that when I developed a really healthy relationship with food, all of the food noise went away, and all of the thinking about weight loss and thinking about I should be doing this stuff, it all went away, and it made a lot of space for the things that I actually care about. So when I was fat as fuck, had someone asked me, well, if you didn't think about weight loss, or you didn't think about, how insecure you were in your own body, what would you like to be thinking about instead? I couldn't have even answered the question, because I had never considered that as a possibility. When I worked through it, I became an entirely different person, because I had so much mental capacity and so much thought space and space in my mind and in my own head to focus on other things. And now here we are 5 or 6 years later, and I'm a totally different person. Every year, I feel like I'm a different person and growing in so many ways that I, for myself, would not have been able to do when I was living in my own insecurity, living in my own, wishing that I could figure out a way to do this thing that I just couldn't figure out. I want to share a message from a client of mine who we're dedicating episode 48 to. His name is James, and I've been working with James for 16 weeks. Here is James's 16-week update. He started at 266 pounds. He's at 245 pounds, and he shares, all of my clients share every week. We're not just talking about how much weight we're losing. I'm not really interested in weight loss. All that I'm interested in is the sustainability of the weight we're losing. The difference between the messaging that you hear from me and the messaging that I heard when I was trying to lose weight, or that I still hear from other people in the space, not that anybody's right or wrong, but it's just a different perspective, because I'm always coming back to the sustainability of what we're doing. If it isn't sustainable, then you're not going to be able to keep the weight off. If you can't do it for life, don't do it to lose weight, right? So what I've done is I've worked with James to build a structure and a system that he can exist in for his life that doesn't require him to be obsessive about it or live in restriction forever. And therefore, it's allowing him to develop a healthier mindset and a healthier relationship with food. So listen to this update from him for week 16. The best part of this experience is that it doesn't feel like I'm dieting, but rather feels like I've adopted a healthier, happier lifestyle. That, to me, is the coolest fucking thing ever to hear, because how often have you or me tried to lose weight on a diet and then just stopped and gained the weight back? We never actually made the permanent lifestyle changes. So if you take away anything from this, let it be that this actually is possible. People are actually making the permanent and sustainable lifestyle changes. James says, it is freeing knowing that I can lose weight without tracking calories. Holy shit, I would have never imagined that. For a lot of my journey of losing and gaining weight, I didn't know that was possible. But now that James isn't tracking calories, it allows him to have a healthier relationship with food without thinking about food as calories or food as a tool to lose weight. But instead, food is something here to actually make your life better, which is an amazing switch that he's made that you can also make too. This change is very possible. James says, working on improving my mindset and having a healthier relationship with food has helped me in other areas of life. And the reason why is because your relationship with food is very regularly indicative of your relationship with yourself. So when you fix your relationship with food and address the issues, you're actually addressing the issues in your relationship with yourself at the same time. And that energy carries over into every single thing that you do in your life. And that's what James is experiencing. Congratulations, James. You're kicking ass. Some more things that James says. Losing weight and prioritizing my health has given me the confidence to believe in myself, be more social, and I've recently made a few new friends. Congratulations, James. It's been an honor being your coach and being on this journey with you. And I'm excited to continue to see you through it and to see you really committing to the lifestyle changes and the systematic process. And you're just a really great example that change is possible. And it's very inspiring to me, James. So congratulations again. Episode 48 of the Drop It podcast is dedicated to you. And that leads us into the topic for today's episode, and it's how to have a healthy relationship with food. We kind of talk about this every episode, mostly indirectly though, right? I mean, anytime that you're addressing weight loss, sustainability, we're always kind of looking at having a healthier relationship with food, but it's important that you understand literally step by step how you can develop a healthier relationship with food, how I've developed a healthier relationship with food, and how James is currently developing and has developed a healthier relationship with food as well. So this is something that I could riff on for 5 hours, and I'm going to break it down to just 3 steps that you can actually implement today, so that this is something that you can stay interested in for the 20 to 25 minutes that this episode will take to record and will take for you to listen to. The number one concept, well, the reason why this matters, before we get into it, the reason why this matters is because if you lose weight and you do not have a healthy relationship with food, which you've already done before, right? Then you will gain the weight back, because you will come back to your baseline habits every single time. So you can discipline yourself to weight loss by just counting every calorie and cutting out all bullshit food and never eating junk. But eventually you will be around junk again. Eventually you will stop counting calories. And if you didn't develop the healthy relationship with food, you're going to gain the weight back, which if you pause and reflect on your own journey, you've probably already done that before. So the idea that we're going to lose weight again without addressing relationship with food or mindset is literally the definition of insanity. And it's the one thing that we're missing that no diet has ever taught you, and that for some reason no one is talking about. Yet it seems like at least 90% of people that are fat, the way that I was, do not have healthy relationships with food. Yet we never actually address that issue. We think that we're just going to eat less food and move more to lose weight. Yeah, you will, but eventually you're going to gain the fucking weight back, right? So we're not just here to lose weight. We're here to keep the weight off. And the way to do that is to develop a healthy relationship with food. Here's what a healthy relationship with food means. It means that here's some questions you can ask yourself to figure out whether or not you have a healthy relationship with food. Okay? When you think about food, does it make you feel good or does it make you feel anxious? When you go out to eat, are you stressed out about what kind of food is going to be available? When you eat too much food, whatever too much means for you, how do you feel afterwards? Do you beat yourself up, or do you just automatically go, oh, it happens, and then move on? When you're walking through the office and there's candy there on the counter, is it easy for you to walk by and go, oh, I don't really need that right now? Or do you sit there and think about it, and then I'm going to have one, and then, okay, I'm going to have two, and then, but yeah, then my dinner's kind of off, and then I'm going to eat it, eat a little worse for dinner, or get something on the way home that I otherwise wouldn't have, and it's Thursday, so then I'll, I'm just done for the weekend. My diet's over for the weekend. I've already fucked up. I'm going to restart again on Monday. Any version of any of these things is an unhealthy relationship with food. Here's the final question. Does food make your life better or worse? That's really the one question. Does food make your life better or worse? And by asking yourself those questions, you can determine, do you have a healthy relationship with food? And some people that are not even fat don't have healthy relationships with food, right? But most people, including myself after I had lost weight, still didn't entirely have a healthy relationship with food. It took me a while to build this process for myself that I'm now helping James and helping others through as well to lose weight and actually keep it off. But change is possible. So here's the 3 things. If you have an unhealthy relationship with food based on those questions, you're going to want to pay attention. If you feel that you have a healthy relationship with food after asking yourself those questions, then this probably isn't going to be the best use of your time to listen to this episode. So now would be a good time to stop listening, and we'll see you back on episode 49. But if you have an unhealthy relationship with food, here's the first concept. The first step is to understand that food can be medicine or food can be poison. Let me say that again. Food can be medicine or food can be poison. The same food can be medicine or can be poison. Here's an example. When you're driving home from work and you had a bad day and you drive by an ice cream place and you want some ice cream because you're kind of pissed off about something that happened at work and you're tired or you're sad, or you just don't have any food at home to eat, so you're going to stop and get some McDonald's, right? Whatever it is. Let's go back to the ice cream example. If you go eat that ice cream, that ice cream is poison to you. It's poison to your mind and to your soul, because what you're doing is you're letting your emotions dictate the foods that you put into your own body. And then what happens is you eat that ice cream and then you feel like shit about eating the ice cream. And then that negatively compounds. And you actually feel worse about your situation after you eat the ice cream than you did before you ate it. So forget your body. That ice cream is poison to your mind because it's making it so that you're not actually addressing the root of the issue and the root of the negative emotion, which is you had a bad day and you're pissed off about something at work. So instead of being able to let that go, you're just coping by eating something that makes you feel good in the moment, but that makes you feel more like shit afterwards. Poison. That same ice cream from the exact same place at your coworker's birthday party, or at your kid's birthday party, or on your 3-year anniversary with your husband or with your wife, or at your son's high school graduation, or at your neighborhood cul-de-sac 4th of July barbecue. That same ice cream is medicine for your mind and for your soul, because it's connection and it's culture and it's memories and it's tradition. Like food is all of those things. And when something positively impacts you, so that same scoop of ice cream, right? Let's call it 2 scoops of ice cream. That same 2 scoops of ice cream in both situations, they impact your mind differently, and they impact your thought process differently. They impact how you feel differently. But in the moment, they actually impact your body the same, right? Calories are calories. It's the same ice cream. It's the same sugar. It's going to have the same impact on your body in that moment and in the 20 minutes following that moment. But when it's medicine versus poison, it doesn't negatively impact what you do afterwards or how you feel afterwards. And when you feel like shit, that does negatively impact your body. Your mind and your body are very, very, very closely connected. It impacts your cortisol levels. It impacts your sleep. It impacts the fact that you're just bypassing the negative emotion by eating ice cream to cope with it. The same food can be poison or can be medicine. And the question to ask yourself to determine that is, why am I eating this food? So step number 1, now that you understand that food can be medicine or poison, the same food, the same slice of pizza can be medicine or can be poison in 2 different situations. The way to figure out which one it is to ask yourself every time before you eat, why am I eating this food? And that's it. You'll actually know the answer. And when you're eating this food for the right reasons, then you will develop a much healthier relationship with food very fast, much faster than all the shit you hear online about how it takes 37 days to develop a habit. You'll develop a healthier relationship with food actually immediately. The first time you do that, you'll develop a healthier relationship with food. And the more you do that, the healthier that relationship will become. Perfection is not the goal. We're just looking to feel better about our relationship with food so that food doesn't control us the way that it has our whole fucking life. So ask yourself that one question. Step number 1, why am I eating this food? The reason why you're asking is to recognize that the same food can be poison or can be medicine. If you just did that one thing, you would develop a healthier relationship with food. Step number 2 is to ask yourself, how is this food going to make me feel after I eat it? So let's go to a fast food example, right? You don't have any food in your house, in your kitchen, or in your apartment, so you want to order pizza. Okay, well, that sounds pretty good, right? Everybody likes Domino's Pizza or Pizza Hut. Let me get 2 or 3 slices, maybe turn into 4 or 5 once I really get going. How is the food going to make me feel? Well, when I eat it, it's going to feel amazing because it's designed to make you feel amazing. Dopamine starts going off in your brain. Oh my God, it's like a high. And then you dip the pizza in some ranch and put some crushed red peppers on it, maybe a little bit of spice, a little bit of jalapeno or bacon. Oh my God. My mouth is actually watering. That's funny. I don't actually crave these foods anymore, but when I really start thinking about it, of course they sound good. It does to everyone. Even people that have healthy relationships with food still think about these foods. When they think about the foods, they still sound good. And right now, I do want to eat some Domino's pizza in this moment of me recording this podcast because I'm sitting here thinking about it, right? Then I ask myself, how would that food make me feel? It would feel really great. Actually, having a piece and eating it on this podcast would feel amazing. 20 minutes after eating it, I would feel like shit. Everyone does. Even people with healthy relationships with food feel like shit physically after they eat a bunch of bullshit food, like Domino's Pizza or Pizza Hut. And when you focus more on how you're going to feel after you eat something, you'll recognize that you actually already know the answers. And what you're doing by asking yourself that question, how's this pizza going to make, I want to eat pizza. How am I going to feel after I eat the pizza? Oh, I'm going to feel like shit. Well, my goal is to not feel like shit. So I'm not going to eat the pizza. Like, it's that easy. I'm going to make a different decision. In this situation that I'm explaining to you, the reason I wanted to eat the pizza was because I don't have any food in my fridge. So what I'm going to do is get food into my fridge so that I have options. Or I'll order something that doesn't make me feel like shit. And that might be different person to person, but there are certain foods that make everyone feel like shit. Pizza Hut and Domino's are some great examples of that. And you know the other ones, right? It's common sense. It's common sense, but we get so caught up in how the food's going to make us feel when we're eating it that we forget to pay attention to how we're going to feel afterwards. So we're bringing mindfulness and presence into our decisions with food. And this sounds like a lot, right? Like the idea that you're going to go make a decision around food and then pull out your checklist of the 3 steps on how to have a healthier relationship with food. No, that's not how it's going to be forever, but it's how it needs to be right now until it becomes a lifestyle change and a habit for you. So this has been years of me doing this. I never ask myself these questions. I never actually sit there and go, how's this food going to make me feel? I just know how the food is going to make me feel, and it's automatic. These are split-second decisions for me. They're not drawn-out conversations about what am I going to do and how am I going to feel. But it started as that. It started as me literally speaking to myself about this the way that I'm speaking to you through this microphone right now. I would talk to myself about it and say, how's this food going to make me feel? Literally, Nick, how are you going to feel after you eat this? I really want to eat it, but I know that I'm going to feel like shit afterwards, and my goal is to not feel like shit. Because when I feel like shit, I actually make worse decisions, and I'm not as great to be around as a person. And I'm not as good at any of the things that I'm working on. And I show up as a worse employee when I feel like shit because I sleep worse. And the shit compounds, and then I'm more likely to eat shit later and tomorrow. And then I'm just on this cycle of like, in reality, had I just not eaten that fucking pizza, things would have been fine. I would keep moving in the direction that feels good to me. This doesn't mean that you can't ever eat pizza. It means to eat pizza when it is medicine, not when it is poison. And this is what the common sense diet is all about. Rule number 9, eat mom's apple pie. Eat mom's apple pie when she makes it, but only eat 1 slice, and don't bring pies home and fill them in the fridge and eat a slice of pie every day until it's gone. The answer is in balance and in non-restriction. But restrict yourself from pizza when you're just eating pizza because you just want pizza. That's not a good enough reason to eat it. Your body deserves to be taken care of, and you deserve to learn how to take care of it, and that's how you do it. Not by eating pizza because I want it, eating pizza because we're celebrating something. Eating pizza because once a month, my wife and I go out to this pizza parlor because it's where we met, and it's our favorite place to go on the 3rd of every month. That's different than getting pizza because, hey, babe, you want some pizza? Yeah, I guess I don't want to cook. Okay. Feel the difference between those two things. Food is poison versus medicine, and how's the food going to make you feel? The 3rd step to developing a healthier relationship with food is to recognize and to remind yourself that food is here to make your experience better, not to be your experience. Food is here to make your life better, not to be your life. Food is here to help you feel more connected to yourself and to other people, not to be the focus and the centerpiece of what you're thinking about. When you go out to Olive Garden and they bring all the breadsticks and all the pasta out, and it's you and, your friends, or you and your family, you are not at Olive Garden to eat. You are at Olive Garden to spend quality time with the other people that you're there with. And the food is a part of that connection. The food is not the reason that you're there. It's not. And if it is the reason that you're there, that is the problem. Remind yourself and give yourself permission to believe that food is actually just there to help you connect more with the other people. So when you start obsessing about the breadsticks and the appetizers and how many should I eat because I'm on a diet, you're not on a fucking diet. You're on the common sense diet. It's not actually a diet. It's a permanent lifestyle, mindset, and relationship with food and self-change and framework that you can exist in forever, non-restrictively. You can eat one breadstick because everyone at the table is eating breadsticks, and sit with the discomfort of wanting another breadstick. Say out loud, God, I want another breadstick, but I'm using this moment as an example to prove to myself that I don't need to eat another one. And then sit with that. And you do that 2 or 3 times, and then you develop self-belief. How do I believe in myself? I don't believe that I can do it. That makes sense that you don't believe in yourself because you've never done it. That would be fucking crazy if you had full self-belief even though you had never done it. You have to make yourself do it one fucking time so that you have the reference point. Put yourself in the situation to practice. Go out to the pizza place and eat one piece of pizza with your friends or with your family and sit with the discomfort of wanting another one intentionally. Put yourself in the situation to practice, because if you don't practice, then you'll never learn. If your whole weight loss strategy is I'm going to stop eating out because when I eat out, I always overdo it, how the fuck are you ever going to develop a healthy relationship with food and eating out? You never will because you're not practicing. You're taking the cigarette approach to weight loss and saying, I'm just going to stop smoking. You can't just stop eating or just stop doing a specific thing that you think is the thing that's contributing to your obesity, because eventually you're going to be back in that situation. Practice. It's not that big of a deal. You absolutely logically can just eat one breadstick. Like, you understand logically that you can, right? Yeah, but Nick, I've never been able to before. Yeah, but now you feel like shit. And now you have an opportunity to prove to yourself that you can, so that you don't have to feel like shit forever. And then you take that self-belief and you carry it over into every single other area of your life, and you start feeling more capable. That's the beauty of weight loss. It's the beauty of weight loss. You're going to develop so much self-belief, but you are going to put yourself in the situation to develop that self-belief. It's not going to come out of nowhere. It's not going to come from you sitting in your house and counting all your calories in MyFitnessPal and eating the same fucking chicken, rice, and broccoli every single day. It's going to come from getting out into the world, recognizing food's here to make my life better. Food's here to help me feel more connected to other people. Food is not the centerpiece of my life. Food is not even the focal point of this dinner. I'm not out at my birthday dinner to eat dinner. I'm out at my birthday dinner to celebrate my life and me and the other people that are here with me that have gotten me this far. And this steak is just a representation of that. This scoop of ice cream they brought me with a candle in it, this little slice of cake, is just a representation of that. I didn't come here for the cake. I came here for the people. I came here for myself. And this cake is the celebration of life. It's not the celebration. We're not here to celebrate food. We're here to celebrate life. That's how you develop a healthy relationship with food. Number 1 was recognize that food can be poison or it can be medicine. Number 2 is to ask yourself how food makes you feel after you eat it, and to focus more on how you feel after you eat food versus how you feel when you're eating it. And number 3 is to recognize that food is here to make the experience better, not to be the focal point of the experience. If you resonate with this, you're not alone. There's so many people, and people just don't talk about relationship with food. People just don't talk about it. It sounds eating disordery, and it sounds, but I don't, unhealthy relationship with food. I don't make myself throw up, and nothing against anybody that does, right? But that's the majority of people don't want to use that language because they think that it's some like crazy, super big issue. It is a big issue, and it's, people don't like to talk about it, but so many people struggle with it. It doesn't mean that you have bulimia. It doesn't mean that you have a binge eating disorder. It doesn't mean any of these things if you have an unhealthy relationship with food. A lot of people just have an unhealthy relationship with food. A lot of people that are fit and that you would think are healthy still don't have a healthy relationship with food. A lot of bodybuilders, most people that have lost weight and kept the weight off still have an unhealthy relationship with food because they haven't built comfort around all areas of food and they're still living in restriction. When you start asking yourself these questions and these 3 steps that I just walked you through, you will start learning how to live non-restrictively and balanced. And you'll stop thinking about food all the time. Food freedom is really what you want, and really what I wanted too, and really what I achieved, and what James has achieved. And he hasn't even lost all the weight yet. And that is very, very, very possible. If you take away anything from this episode, let it be that if you want to keep the weight off and stop thinking about food all the time and feel better about it, you have to develop a healthy relationship with food. And you can write down those 3 steps that we went through and just read them out loud in the morning for 5 seconds. And that alone will help you think about the decisions that you're making a little bit more and bring more mindfulness into your day-to-day and into your decisions around eating. If you're struggling with relationship with food and obesity, I've dedicated my whole life to helping people through the things that I went through and that James has gone through and that a bunch of other people are going through right now and have gone through as well. So if you'd like to work with me and you'd like to hire me as your coach or explore that as an option, you can go ahead and click the application in the description of this podcast episode. It's going to take you maybe 6 or 7 minutes to fill out. And after you fill it out, it will take you straight to my calendar where you and me will get on a call and see if it makes sense for the both of us. And if it does, we'll do it together. And if it doesn't, that's okay too. And I'll do what I can to help point you in the right direction. If you made it to the end of this podcast episode, the best thing you can do to support me as a storyteller is to leave a review. And so if you'd please leave an honest review on Spotify or Apple or Podbean or any other platform that you're listening on, that would make me feel really good. And it would also help me get this message out to other people like me, like James, and like you that need or have needed to hear it in the past. You absolutely have what it takes to develop a healthier relationship with food. It doesn't need to be weird. You absolutely have what it takes to lose weight, and you absolutely have what it takes to keep the weight off and actually put obesity behind you for good. You deserve that. See you next week.